around the workshop, but maybe also, because you guys did so many activities, you can share around, you know, what you take out of it. Because as much as it was a lot of fun, there should be some form of real life application to what you learned, to what you would have learned today. Okay, so who wants to take it away? So sometimes there are these things that hold us back, and we're conscious around how people perceive us and judge us. So you kind of, you've learned something from that, that, you know, break that kind of barrier, and not be too concerned around how will I be perceived, not be too overly conscious, in that way.
I think one of the things that I actually was talking about being in this comfort zone, I wanted to be like, when I have to speak publicly, sometimes I kind of zone out. Like, I'm speaking, but I'm not there. Like, I can actually see myself not being engaging with, you know. So I wanted to be in the zone and just see myself being in that zone, you know, being very much aware of what I'm doing.
That is great. But in the process of, obviously, where, you know, you want to present what you want to say in the right way, we have to be careful not then to focus on that, because you know the skill that you're going to be missing out on is listening. Is the listening.
I think more than anything, I enjoyed the focus clap.
Okay, yeah.
Because I know I've got a thing personally. I am able to speak to someone, but I've got a conversation happening in my head.
Yeah.
So when someone asks me a question, I've got a tendency of like having a pause, a slight pause before I respond to you, because I'm responding to myself in this conversation that I'm having. I've had it for a long time. I speak to myself all the time. I'm very comfortable with speaking to myself. So I speak to myself, and now we're having this conversation. I can hear you. We're speaking about the same thing, and it's what we were saying, that you're so focused on what you want to bring across next, and I'm thinking, and you're like, yo, so what do you think? Yes, actually. So now this focus thing was keeping me in the moment. I think that's why I was so excited when I was in the top 3.
Wait, you know what? Because, you know, the start really is for you to actually recognize where your development area is. And sometimes though, don't be too hard on yourself. Because when you recognize where your area of development is, sometimes you may not be able to perfect it, as in change yourself in that way. But then you find ways of partnering with other people that fill in the gap in your life.
My day started horribly. It was stressful. So coming here, everyone is making noise. I'm like, guys, what's happening? You know? So for me, I think one thing that I appreciated about the activities is that they managed to make me to forget about everything. Like I literally forgot about every single thing. From in the morning until when I arrived here, until when we entered in that room. I feel like I zoned out, like I forgot totally whatever that I do outside, and I just focused on doing that activity. So I think for me, what it taught me is that I must actually invest more in physical activities, because I don't run, I don't do, I just talk. I just talk, meet people. But I don't have that time in which I can be crazy, I can, you know, run, like let loose, you know. For me, I think letting loose today, like crying, laughing.
A whole lot of emotions in between,
You know, it was very awkward for me, but it made me to really forget about so many things. And yeah, I was just right there.
And I think that is one of the purposes of the workshop. Because I say, you know, in your working environment, when you go to offices or business or whatever, people are so stressed, there's so much to do, there's so much to think about. They never really have the time just to relax and freshen out the mind. And through changing your business briefly, I think that's one of the elements I'm trying to tackle for people, just to let loose, man, and just be free for one thing. You know, I'm not saying that you're forgetting your workload, but it just refreshes your mind. It takes you back to.
In fact, you can be more productive after that. Because you know, life can be such a race. We want to achieve so much. Then that creates stress. But you actually have to find ways to release that stress, and then you're able to tackle the next task, or just go back to it. with more energy, feeling almost energized, re-energized.
Yeah, I think I changed.
To when I go back home, I try to apply some of some of the stuff to, especially training with journalists.
Yeah.
Because journalists need confidence.
Yeah.
Public
Interaction.
That's why I'm busy learning busy improve my English and some other African language like Sizulu and other stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much.